What's going on, everybody, and welcome to a juicy video today. As I'm sure many of you know, the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event just happened this past week, and with it came new info and in turn a new trailer. And in that new trailer is the info that states that Sora is in fact dead. Ooh, spooky. Yeah, just cut to the intro. That's right, everybody, you heard me correctly. Our lovable, fun-filled ray of sunshine got bodied and is now in the afterlife. To understand how our poor son can possibly be deceased, we must scan over the course of events that led him to this point in the first place. In Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora goes on a mission to reclaim his lost power and awaken the ability to use the power of waking. The power of waking allows for the user to restore a sleeping heart back to the world. The wording is especially important. After the Guardians talked a big game in the Keyblade Graveyard, they got soloed by Terranort, who quickly showed them that this is the battlefield, not a Disney movie. They suffered a crushing defeat, and in that land did darkness prevail and light expire. Sora was given another chance at life thanks to Kairi, and using this opportunity, he used the power of waking to traverse the many worlds he had been to in an attempt to locate the fallen Guardians' hearts and return them back to their vessels. During his travels, he runs into young Xehanort, who specifically has this warning to give to Sora.
What do you think the power of waking is? It's for traversing hearts to reach worlds, not for traversing worlds to reach hearts. There's a high price to pay for wielding such power foolishly.
So what? You're worried about me now?
No. There's no saving you.
That's a surprise tool that can help us later.
Xehanort's statement was cryptic at the time, but is shown in the future when Riku uses the power of waking on the nameless star to travel to her world, aka Quadratum. As we all know, the stars that gather in the final world are people's hearts, and this can further explain this dive to the heart transforming into Quadratum during the Yozora boss fight. It's used for traversing hearts to reach worlds. Sora then, ignoring Xehanort's warning, continues to use the power of waking once again to bring Kairi back. However, this time it's not simply restoring a lost heart, but bringing a heart back from extinction completely, meaning that the repercussions of using the power this time is much more drastic than before.
The power of waking is meant to be used to wake and restore sleeping hearts, not to restore them after they've completely faded away from existence. You've done that 6 times before, and as a result, you've managed to greatly alter the course of history itself.
Again, before Sora does this, Chirithy tries to warn him, telling him that he is breaking a nature taboo and that you can't just, I don't know, completely alter the world timeline just to improve your KDA. But again, Sora ignores the warning, pushing forward to do whatever it takes to bring Kairi back. And he had to pay the ultimate price. The ultimate price being a heart for a heart. Due to him ignoring the blatantly obvious signs and continuing to hit the respawn at last save button, Sora disappeared from the world, and the next time we see him, he will be fighting a mighty adversary by the name of Yozora. During this encounter, Yozora seems surprised to see that Sora is, well, Sora. And when Sora tells him he knows who he is, Yozora responds by saying,
"This isn't the real world, and I am here. But this isn't what I really look like."
Yozora then reveals to Sora that he was sent on a mission to save him, and through the process of saving, the two exchange blows. When Sora beats Yozora in what we all assume to be the true or canon ending, Yozora begins to fade away. This could also be backed up by Nomura's answer in an interview where he states that the bad ending, where you lose, was implemented just so players wouldn't feel like they wasted their time fighting and dying, to sort of cushion the blow a bit for when Yozora eventually humbled you as a Kingdom Hearts player. Yozora then begins to fade away, in which he leaves Sora with these parting words.
"I guess that my powers aren't needed yet."
What do you mean?
Never mind.
And that brings us to the present, where Sora then awakes in Final Fantasy Verse Shibuya Quadratum, and Kingdom Hearts 4 is officially upon us, and Sora is now dead. Okay? Alright, just let me explain here. Remember the Kingdom Hearts 3 secret movie Yozora? Specifically the parts pertaining to Sora. We'll get to Riku later. Now it's obvious in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer that Sora doesn't just wake up in the middle of the street, but rather in a super expensive luxurious loft in Quadratum. Completely different than the secret movie. However, the secret movie, as cryptic as it is, isn't just for aesthetics. There is a specific detail that pieces this all together, and that detail being the 104 building. When the 104 building was shown, everybody, including myself, was like, yo!
Persona!
Never see it come back.
What? A man can dream, can he? Alright, fine. Everybody and their mother, including myself, thought the world ends with you. Sora woke up in Shibuya, that much is certain. And I would be so inclined to say that he woke up in the same Shibuya that is familiar to the OG characters of The World Ends With You.
Once you find your friend, Sora, you should come hang out in our town.
Definitely. See you in Shibuya.
Sure, it's a deal.
Here's where things get a little bit interesting, to say the least. Try to keep up. I'd like to emphasize again, this will contain spoilers for The World Ends With You and Neo The World Ends With You. I'm warning you now. Beyond this, you're on your own. Good? Great. Let's move on. In The World Ends With You, there exists two realms, or worlds, that make up the accumulation of, well, the world. Those being the real ground, aka the RG, and the underground, aka the UG. In simple terms, the RG is a plane where all living beings exist and only the living can see, whereas the UG is a parallel plane of existence in conjunction with the RG used to conduct the Reaper's game. These two planes, as I said before, run parallel to each other. The best way to explain it is, in the UG, imagine you can walk and talk like you normally do, but nobody can hear or see you, and you just simply pass through everybody, almost as if you're a ghost. When a chosen candidate dies, they are then transferred from the RG to the UG, where they become a player and are pitted against other dead players in an all-out battle royale where whoever wins gets any one thing granted to them. This parallel plane of existence known as the underground is where Sora resides. Meanwhile, in the RG, the real ground is where Riku resides. Remember, when speaking to the Nameless Star, Riku describes the city in his dreams. She then goes on to clarify it to be Quadratum, and through the power of waking, Riku uses the portal to travel to what we assume is Quadratum. Even though they're in different areas, Shibuya as well as Shinjuku, in this universe, they are all under the umbrella of Quadratum. Riku and Sora are in the same place at the same time, again unable to interact with each other, just like in Dream Drop Distance. And just like in Dream Drop Distance, The World Ends With You was introduced into Kingdom Hearts. Alright, but how did you get here? How do you know that Sora is dead? Well, my dear friends, the evidence is right there beside Sora, our angel and queen Strelitzia. Alright, I know this is gonna hurt me just as much as it hurts me. I know what I said, but for the sake of theorizing, we must revisit this tragedy again. During the events of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, Strelitzia sought out your player character to befriend and reveal the truth of her being a Union leader in an attempt to save you from the Keyblade War. While searching, her Chirithy informs her that they saw a person entering into a building. Assuming that it was your character, she ran to the scene, where she is then greeted by emptiness and silence. Just as she is about to leave, she is struck down and the assailant takes her book and vanishes into the darkness. She begins limping towards the door, where she reminisces back on her previous life and regrets, and just like that, she tragically passes into the light. Remember how I said before to make no mistake that she did perish here? Well, make no mistake, she did perish here. Strelitzia was sent to the UG as well. She was brought to the underground to participate in the Reaper's game, because by participating in the Reaper's game, you essentially have a second chance at life, even after you have died. In the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, when Sora awakens, she explains to him that this world is full of life. However, it is more of like an afterworld for us, a plane of existence where only the dead exist, the underground. The same way that in The World Ends With You, when Neku woke up and found Shiki, he was completely clueless as to what was going on, and Shiki filled him in on what was happening. Just like Sora waking up completely clueless to what's going on, and Strelitzia is gonna fill him in on what is happening. Now, a question you may have is, how is Strelitzia the same age as she was when she perished? That happened decades ago. In Neo The World Ends With You, there was a Reaper who goes by the name of Shoka, and both age and mentality, she is 16, making her the same age as Rindo in the game. However, chronologically, she is 20. She is permanently the age and mentality from the point in which she died, showing that all those that have traveled to the UG maintain the age in which they have perished. That is why Strelitzia is the same age, even though she is here also many years in the future with our boy Sora. And furthermore, during the 20th anniversary event, there was a statement from Nomura that I will read now. The translations, as well as much more information regarding the Kingdom Hearts anniversary event, can be found on the wonderful Audrey's Twitter page that I will link down below. She has done a phenomenal job at covering the event as well as translating for us plebeians, so make sure to go and show her some love. The statement goes on to say, when I look back at everything from the past up until now, I can say that Kingdom Hearts is a series that I have given my all to create. There have been times when I felt burnt out to complete the work, but seeing how it brings so much joy to so many gives me the strength in my heart to go further. This story of Hearts is about the wishes of those who were lost on a journey, those we can no longer see, whose hearts have been separated, but I believe their hearts are ever by our side. I am thankful for the past 20 years and hope for your continued support from here on out. Tetsuya Nomura. Man, somebody give this man a Snuggie and a warm cup of cocoa. It's sad because even though I know during the supposed break that they were having with Kingdom Hearts, Nomura was most likely still hard at work, not even just with Final Fantasy Remake. He truly is someone special. Now, there's something in here that I believe may actually offer some insight into what is going on here, and that is this second verse here. This story of Hearts is about the wishes of those who were lost on the journey, those we can no longer see, whose hearts have been separated, specifically being Sora as well as Strelitzia. These two as well being those we can no longer see, whose hearts have been separated, those who now belong to another plane of existence for which we cannot see, those belonging to the underground. The trailer then shoots up to reveal the Master of Masters watching over Sora along with another mysterious figure. But why is the Master of Masters watching all this go down in front of him without lifting a finger to help? Unless perhaps he was testing Sora through a series of trials. Perhaps a Reaper's game. Participating in the Reaper's game, you essentially have a second chance at life. A Reaper's game to test Sora's strength of heart to become a prime vessel in joining the Foretellers and himself.
I accidentally wandered into this place and went through some trials. Then, I was told to save Sora.
Huh? Then what's with the weapon?
When he says I accidentally wandered into this place, he is not referring to the final world. Now they are in Quadratum. He is referring to the city in the setting in which they are in at the moment. Just like Sora, Yozora stumbled into Quadratum and was put through a series of trials and became a part of the Reaper's game. But again, we see Yozora at the top of the Tokyo Metropolitan Building where Riku was residing. Yozora completed his final trial to save Sora. Yozora beat the Reaper's game and made it back to the RG. And to solidify it, at the end of the trailer, Donald and Goofy are looking for who? Hades. What is Hades the god of? The god of the underworld, the realm of the dead, the underground. Shout out to Motor City Nerds for this last point. Really wrap the whole theory together.
You make a good other.
Sora and Strelitzia are trapped in the UG on the brink of extinction, while Riku and Yozora are in the RG desperately trying to get those they have lost back. Where does it go from here? Only time will tell. But anyone familiar with The World Ends With You knows this task will be far from easy. Isn't that right, Xehanort?
However, if you arrive in a world that's neither of light nor darkness, but somewhere on the other side, your task will be far from easy. If that happens, you must abandon your search. We have failed.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is another chapter for the theory books. I'm gonna be real, I got a little confession. I actually was a little bit hesitant to publicize this video only because it's really one of those for fun theories. So don't take it too seriously. Honestly, I can't speak for anybody else, but don't take any of my theories too seriously. I don't know if you noticed, but they're all kinda out there, which is pretty much the point. I like thinking outside the box a bit. But at the end of the day, I'm not Nomura, you're not Nomura, none of us are Nomura. Doesn't matter who's right or who's wrong, we'll all enjoy Kingdom Hearts the same. So just have fun with it. And with that in mind, I decided not to let all my hard work and dedication on this video go to waste and let it rock. But of course, like always, if you like the video, then like the video. I don't know, it's pretty clean cut, pretty simple. And of course, I'll link to a playlist to my other theories that you may enjoy or may not enjoy. Who knows? They exist. But anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's been Vel. I love your faces, and I'm out. Later.